Brothers and sisters, and those who subscribe to my channel who are not black, or those who are visiting my channel for the first time, y'all might notice that I've spoke about a lot of issues and been related to race and racism and discrimination among black people. Some of you have requested me to talk on certain subjects about, these rash of shootings where people are trying to hide behind standing your ground. And while I'm going to try to get to them within a timely fashion, I want to say that every one of them I can't comment on because I don't have all the facts, and I don't want us to get distracted and just focusing on the law standing your ground. Black men, black women, black children, excuse me, have been getting shot down in this country, around the world, every day for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's not until the Trayvon Martin case that we start to look at the laws, because Zimmerman used, in his defense team, used that law to hide behind. Okay? We know about the little 13-year-old boy was shot by the 75-year-old. But how about the little 13, 14, I forget, either 13, 14 was killed in Mississippi last year by a bunch of white kids? Don't just start talking about the gun violence that white perpetrate against us. Let's talk about it all. And even the self-destructive violence that we engage in as a people. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a level of hypocrisy when some of our people want to get outraged about this, but don't have that same passion about what's going on right now as a community. We need to be able to talk about how young brothers and sisters are committing violence every day within our community, outside our community. I give you an example. Here in Chicago, last year, it was a bunch of black kids going down on the Magnificent Mile. If anybody's not familiar with the term Magnificent Mile, it's Michigan Avenue. It's those higher-end stores. Or that's what a tourist destination. A lot of these kids either was from the suburbs, and they didn't talk about that shit, or they were coming from certain areas of the community that was either have been neglected, or parents have lost control, or don't control their children, or don't know where their children are at. They went downtown, beating up and robbing people, going to stores, stealing. Well, guess what? This past weekend, it started right back up again. Now, if we do what I've suggested and others suggest and stop talking about let's pray and start talking about where it's not enough basketball courts or these kids don't got nothing to do, instead of just calling them what it is, these kids need to be treated with some tough love. That we're going to keep having this issue. This is why these motherfuckers are shooting our people down, because we got a bunch of idiots who have become the face and voice of the community doing dumb things, and people do this to justify it. Now, as I said before, I'm going to try to get to each of these subjects within a timely fashion, and some I may not even go there, because every day this shit is happening. Last year, a 45-year-old black man was murdered by white teens, and it was no outrage from the community. Now, as I've said before, it depends on the news cycle. Usually during the winter months, it's a slow news cycle. If something happened and the black community take notice of it, then that's when the media take notice. But every day, brothers and sisters should be watching the news or catching up on current events. So when shit like this happen, the media has no choice but to react. But this is why I say that we need to have black press. We need to have black internet sites. We need to have blacks out there who are not afraid to speak. But at the same time, we gotta start calling out our own people. Don't get me wrong. I get angry when I hear about our brothers and sisters being harassed and being disrespected or being murdered by the hands of others. But guess what? We need to have the same passion when our own people do shit. Because when we first talked about Trayvon Martin, what was the first thing that people said? Well, blacks kill each other. We can't deny that there are a group of black people in our community who've become the predator, who have emulated white supremacist behavior. Believe me, I would love to talk about it, but sometimes I come across these stories, I get depressed. I cry. I'm not going to lie to you, I get angry. But you have some brothers and sisters out here have gotten mad at me because I've suggested that maybe we might need to bring the Reserve and National Guard in to help patrol areas that turn into mini Iraqs. I suggested that black men and black women who've been in the military or law enforcement or who knows the law just get together and come up with a plan. We can deal with this problem. This is why I got kind of upset when brothers and sisters, when 9/11 happened, when we was blacks were saying, we got to go kill them terrorists. Wait a minute. We got people terrorizing our community as we speak, whether it be black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Arab, Hindu, and we say nothing. And if we do, it's always the same small group of people. We have to be consistent. We have to talk about the effects of crime and violence and distrust. This is why I get mad when I see young black men, older black men with their pants hanging off their ass. Do we sit back and talk about where that started from? Why don't we call out those black women who choose those type of men, elevate those type of men, and send mixed signals to young black male men in general? Why don't we talk about the people who bring the drugs, the alcohol, the weapons, and the prostitution in our community? I'm not saying don't focus on those who are racist, those who are out here doing that shit, but we gotta be honest with ourselves as well. Like I said in my other videos, I watch the news sometimes. I fight the urge to get in my car and go out there and do some hunting. Now, granted, I can't run and jump and do the things I used to do prior to my injuries, but I can still pick up a weapon and I can aim it. And when I fire, I'm going to hit my target. This is why they worried about veterans in our community more so than anything. Because that's why they don't want us to have weapons or even talk like this. Because they're afraid that we're going to go out and start taking the law in our own hands, which I suggest we do. Because apparently law enforcement is either incapable or don't care or understaffed. This is why when I hear Mitt Romney them talking about we don't need no more police officers or firefighter teachers, who you think going to get hit the hardest with that kind of mindset or that kind of ideology? We are. This is why I say, brothers, when you lay down with a female, you better make sure you got rubber on or make sure she's on a pill. And if you think she's not telling you the truth, go get some spermicide. If you're not going to take care of your responsibility, don't fuck around. Go get yourself fixed, which means a vasectomy. If you don't want to have kids or you don't want to be tied down, go get yourself fixed, meaning your tubes tied. For the last 20 years, we've created conditions in our community that can easily be avoided and easily can be fixed if we so choose to. But we cannot honestly sit here and pretend there's only whites or other people of color who are doing us wrong when we got people look just like me and you doing a lot of dirt in our community. And it's always that small group of people who either have the voice or the face of our community. This is why I was disappointed in Kanye, Jay-Z, The Dream, Nas, Tyra, all of them speaking up for other people or defending other people, but are quiet about our issues, or always trying to find an excuse or reason. Yes, slavery has fucked our people up, but we can't keep using that for every situation. Because after a while, the brothers and sisters who don't give a fuck are going to use it as a crutch. And then when brothers and sisters legitimately deal with racism or discrimination, people are like, you guys are crying wolf. We got to step it up. We got to be consistent. We got to stop allowing people to play us like this. We got to start being more aware of our surroundings. This is why I tell y'all, learn your history, control your dollar. Sometimes stop, look, listen, or just focus.